Hi, Karen here from Stamping on the Back Porch. And Tim.
Hello.
And welcome to today's show. Announce yourself when you come in so we can say hi to you. Today is going to be all about fun folds with cool treats. And I am well this week, except for this little lingering cough. So we know how that goes. So Tim will let me know as people come on. Hope everyone's having a great week. This is a new month, so we have a new host code. I will show that, and a new card kit in the mail, which will be all fun folds. But before we do that, you guys know that Tim has been making cookies and sending them to new recruits. He sent out some batches, and he is sending out more on Monday. So if anyone else decides to buy the starter kit, you will be getting this from him. So there's at least one to go out. So it's looking forward to that. And of course, since he was doing this, he was making his card and putting on this, and we had a few extra trays around. I think this is just such a great idea for doing gifts. So I too will pretend that I cook, and I decided that I would make one. You know, this is Tim's favorite set in the catalog. This is the same stamp set. It's perfect mix. It is the same stuff that he's using on his cards. And I just thought when we get started, I'd just show a couple little things about masking with this. So, are there people on? Let me see.
Yes, there are. But let me go this way, and you show that closer up.
Okay. Now, does this show close up? Because now we'll move down here so we can see this. And you can say hi to a few people while I'm showing this.
Okay, I gotta figure out where it starts.
And this is just such a fun set. It's kind of a retro-looking set to me. I decided we're baking brownies there, since I love chocolate. Tim, not so much. So Tim's trying to find where we are. But I love the little baking make life sweeter, you know, in these little stitch things. So I've used Pool Party here. And this is paper from Tasty Treats, which is the paper we're using all day today. That's just kind of a fun thing. And I just like that Pool Party thing.
All right. Sandra, Karen, Carolyn, Kimberly, Terry, Kathy.
Good. Welcome, everyone.
Let me tell you one thing. My iPad is usually got plenty of juice in it because it just sits there. It's not turned on or anything. And all of a sudden, I realized that it was completely dead. So I had to run around and find an extension cord. So
Carolyn says, you don't have to cook, Tim. You've got Tim to do that or something. I said, you're right. So, hi, everyone. This is great. We'll see if this balances. You know, we had to have a little tech trouble here because we haven't had we can do it sideways. Okay, we'll try that. Well, we don't see comments then, so we'll do it the other way. Okay, we'll just do a balancing act. We can do anything. If it falls down, we'll pick it up again. Oh, I'm just thrilled to see so many people here. Catherine, you're getting Tim's cookies on Monday. That is wonderful. So excited to have you join our fun group. So to do this...
wait. This is messing up.
You know, it was only so long before we would have some tech issues, so. But, you know, forgetfulness, I'm not sure, on Tim's part, I'm not sure we can chalk that up to a tech issue, but he thinks we can.
Let's try.
And it's okay. I'll just get started anyway.
Okay.
So, masking is just such a nice basic technique. So every now and then it's good to be reminded of this if you don't do a lot with masking.
Okay. Let's see if that works.
Okay, we're here. Oh, Paula says the cookies were great. Ooh, okay. Wonderful. And so everyone's laughing. Some people are at work but watching. That's wonderful. Holly says she's enjoying her cookies too. So we're so great to have you guys. So grateful to have you guys on our team. So with this perfect match set, we have a variety of stamps. Now, the one thing I've done, like I want the grate on this picture, but I don't want the words. So I do this all the time with my stamps. If I'm going to use it more without the words, you can see I just plain cut the words off because I can add them anytime I want them on there, but I'm going to use all of these items without words much more often. And then to cut masks, what I do is I just take, the edge of this is on a little Post-it note. And I actually usually cut 2 or 3 at a time if I'm going to do this several times. And then when I'm done with them, I just put them in the inside of my lid and save them for the next time. You know, always put a little more tacky, sticky stuff on it too, temporary glue.
Can you explain what you just did? What's that for?
Oh, Tim says, what's this for? Well, it's a step up from the card that he did. Tim, are you ready for masking?
Yes, yeah.
Someday I'll have him do. Yeah, a stand to hold this would be a good idea. I bet I even have something that would work. Just have to think about it before 1 o'clock on Thursdays. So now you can see I've used this one a few times. But now because I have that covered, then I can put, oh, see, I was missing the other one. I had to quick cut a new one. Do you ever do that in things? So now I have 2 of the spatulas. Thought, where did that thing go? But of course, it's going to be handy. So now I'm just going to put my eggs on here. And does that look lovely, Tim? Timmy's just not so sure about this. And then I'm going to do the spatula.
I'd end up making a card and forgetting to take the mask off.
Well, then you get a totally different abstract looking card. Mm-hmm. Now, when I cut these out of, I try to cut them a little inside the line because you kind of want your things to connect up to the black line, but you know, there's nothing perfect about it. But I just think it's really helps to do a few at a time. Okay, so then I'm going to put my grater on. So I'll just put this wherever I want. Okay, and I'm going to let Tim peel these off.
Read Catherine's comment.
Catherine says, for a minute your voice sounded funny on my iPad, like a trill. Well, it could be my sick voice still, but I said, really, I'm feeling good. And I don't know why I'm getting this thing today, but hopefully it was your iPad. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that. And Tim, I'm going to have you just peel these off to see what happens here. Catherine says, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know, that's a good thing there. And there, by the magic of that, isn't that great? We have a... Wow. So what do you think, Tim? See, now you could have fun coloring that. Can you bring it down a little? Oh, do you mean bring this up a little? Is that good? Wendy says she loves the videos. They're so inspirational, so that's good. We're still trying to figure out whether the camera, maybe next time should bring the camera down tighter. I think sometimes if we get it too tight, it gets blurry, so we're just still trying to figure it out.
Some of the comments have to do with focus and stuff, and I still haven't figured out.
And Patricia says, can't see the cards for the live at the top. Now, do you see live on your screen? And does that take it? Does this better?
What is live at the top?
If she's seeing like the live thing at the top and it's hiding. Are people seeing okay? And you know, and the problem is we get a delayed response.
Okay, that should be right in the middle right now. Right there. That's the middle.
Okay, so if we know that's middle. Oh, okay. So now you guys all know that I really, really don't cook. I would give gifts to do with the kitchen and make really lovely tags. But this is what I will send. So now we'll open that. And these little containers are 3 for $1 at the dollar store. So let me open this. And you can see I just took it has a little tin thing. I just covered it with my paper. But here's my inside. It says, have a treat on me. You know, you can go buy something baked, right? so it's all in what you make of something. So I just had to share that first.
And what Karen would get from Starbucks is a double chocolate brownie and tea.
Yes, I would. Yes, I would. And I call it my table rental too, because we'll go do that and then just sit for 2 hours outside when the weather's much nicer and read and people watch. The nicest break in the day. Paula says, this is extra special. Wonderful. That's great. So now we will get on to the main focus of the day. But we're going to start with a technique. You know, when I do my card kits in the mail, I send 5 cards. Usually 2 of them are completed, and that is because we send stamped images in the mail. We can do the thinlets and the framelets for a class. But I decided, since we're focusing on fun folds, I'm going to make this month's cards, all cards that you will assemble. You get the 5 card kits in the mail absolutely free if you place a $50 order before tax and shipping in my online store. And otherwise, you can pay $20 to get the class kit or $7.95 to get the PDFs. But, you know, it's a good deal to buy $50 and get them free. Next week, I'm going to show more things with the stamp set. and there'll just be some extra fun things with this. But today we are focused on using the dies and the Tasty Treat paper that coordinates with this. So I wanted to have enough variety in my cards without, stamping it. So I just decided to bring another old technique. Oh, Tim went and got a stand. How about that? He would have a cookbook stand, of course, and it's a lovely one. So perfect. So thank you, whoever suggested that again. Here, I did drop something.
Somebody suggested a cookbook stand?
No, a stand.
A stand, yes.
Okay.
Well, I didn't even know that. I just do it.
So this morning I sent Tim to the dollar store. He says he has this today off from work to get some cheap shaving cream. That's the white fluffy kind, because that's not, I guess, what he used. Oh, let's take this off so I forgot how to use this. Bringing back old techniques a lot. How many of you have done the shaving cream technique? I did this once years ago. One of my kids walked in the house and thought I was actually cooking. And I said, oh, you aren't going to be interested in what I made. So I've just put this, and I'm going to use 2 of the inkers. Oh, I love seeing all the hearts go by.
And all of the spatter of shaving cream on my iPad.
It is. It's kind of all over the desk, so you might want to watch where you do this. And then I'm going to just take some drops. I'm using Peekaboo Peach and what's this other one? Pool Party, because there are 2 of the colors in this paper that I could easily find the ink refills for. Do I sound like, can any of you relate to that? So it's all good. And of course, I'm trying to use some different colors in this kit too. Okay, so what I'm really doing here is just creating some new paper for my ice cream cone tops. So then I'm going to take one of Tim's chopsticks. He loves to eat with chopsticks.
And she didn't ask permission.
No, well, he's got a few more. And I'm just going to make swirls in this. This is a fun project to do if you stamp with kids too. I can add, more. I can't really take away and add less. But you just experiment. If you don't like your first one, then you can take another. Oh, and Tim, I forgot. Grab me some white paper from the... Oh, you know what? Entertain people while I go get some. That might be better. You just talk for a minute about what I'm going to do.
I have no idea what she's going to do, but that actually looks good enough to eat. This looks like whipped cream, doesn't it? Should I eat some? Oh, it doesn't taste good at all.
He's in luck. I'm back.
I was eating some of that and it's terrible. Oh.
Yeah, I know. So it would be not quite the... Then I'm just going to take my paper and put it down in. And squish my paper. Now, the more pieces of paper that I do on this, the more colored, the more the colors will mix. But what's fun about that is it keeps everything unique. And so each page will be a little different, and we'll see. And if this isn't enough color, I will just add more.
People are saying I shouldn't do that.
Oh, but isn't that cool? So this is going to be my rainbow paper. And I'm going to just take a paper towel, dry it off. And I will probably add a little more because my cones are probably a little small, but maybe not. So we'll see. I'm going to give this to Tim to put back in the kitchen.
So cool.
Now that you know how I did this, and then we will move on to one of our cards.
Okay.
So I can get a whole bunch out of this shaving cream. A whole bunch of...
I don't think you're done yet. Really? That's...
Well, because it's going to dry, so I had to made it. I just had to show how I made it.
Okay.
Because here's what I did with it. Here's one that's dry. So see, then I went in and did an ice cream cone topper out of it. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So I might as well show that part. It is messy. It is one of those messy things, Becky. But you put in the kitchen and have fun with it, and that's why if you're going to do this, you want to make a whole bunch at one time. It's not something you want to take out to just do one little card, unless you're really into details. I'm kind of a marathon stamper, so when I'm going to do this, I'm going to do a whole bunch. So I have them for all the card kits for the month, and probably some extras to make extra cards with. Debbie says, how long does it take to dry? Not long at all. But I would set it aside for maybe 15, 20 minutes. But I know I just did mine this morning, and I was surprised how quickly it dried. And I rubbed it off good with the paper towel. Hi, Linda. This smells good too, Barbara says it. Oh, it might smell good in the mail, Jane. Yes, if it keeps any of its smell. Catherine says messy is fun. Yeah, it is. Son, we do need to loosen up sometimes as adults and just go ahead and get it. Joanne wants an ice cream cone now. Oh, yes. Any time is a good time for that. And Jackie's going to try this. Wonderful. Heather says, was it special paper you used? No, I just used regular paper.
It's back.
Oh, it's back. Tim cleaned it off and put it back. So isn't that pretty? So this would just make nice back on paper. I think you could use a variety of papers, but I'm just using the regular Whisper White. Okay, so that way I can have the look of a little swirly thing. There are some, pieces in here that kind of give that look too, but since we're not using the stamp set so that I can just send all these pieces, thought this was kind of a good compromise. So then I'm using the stitched oval framelit and the pool party under it and putting this together. So I'll do the first part of the card here. And so in a card kit, what you would get is just all these things in pieces and then a PDF with directions on how to put them together.
Debbie, Debbie thinks it takes a long time to dry, but really it is.
It feels pretty dry. It's a little wet. I'd give it 10 minutes, but it really is not. You probably wouldn't even ruin anything if you went ahead and cut things now. So all depends on how patient you are. Okay, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do with this card. I just knocked some things down. So this is our first fun fold. Oh, and then I added I added some of the little sequins and things from what comes with the tasty treats.
They're called sprinkles.
Sprinkles. Thank you, Tim. And to do this, I'm not going to do this right here for the sake of time, but to do this, you use the fine tip glue pen. And I just put my little teeny dots wherever I want them and then just lay those on top. So that actually goes pretty well too. So that adds to that. And then to assemble it, to put the cover on, I always put my finger right here. So then it's pretty easy to put on. Okay, so here is the card. And here is the fun fold part. This is called, I believe, a Dutch fold gate or something. So you open it this way and you open it here. I'm leaving the inside blank because you can do lots of fun writing. Or other papers. But the other thing that's cool is it stands. Yeah, it stands like this, but I need to, I just made this. So I just have to get the crease in. And I thought, now I'm not sure if you can, you want to hold it back, tip the camera back once just to see. I always think a card like this would be fun for a baby announcement too, or if you're sending a picture to someone or a thank you to Grandma and Grandpa. Wouldn't be cute to the kids to have a little thing like this that stands. But I love how that looks. Vanessa says it needs a cherry on top. Yep, I just didn't want to punch out that many cherries for you guys. You have to do your own. So but that's true. Catherine said she did a slumber party for nieces and they all made that kind of paper. And I thought that's a great idea for kids. So anyway, I think this is a cute, fun idea. So to make this, and see, here I start another one. So any of the colors, these are all from this, and you just kind of decorate accordingly.
You might not be able to tell by looking, but I don't do dairy, so Karen actually made this one in soy. That's soy.
Yeah, that's right. No, I do dairy. He just has his own coconut kind, I just do my own. So to make this card, and I wrote these things out. So if you know how to do a screen capture, I know on a Mac, it's like you press something in 4, I can't even tell you. You could do that and grab the measurements. I always think that that's a good idea. But otherwise I tried to write them kind of clear here. So for this, I have 2 sheets of paper. I read that. 2 by 8.5. So that's my first one. And I'm going to scored at 2 1/8 inch. And I'm just putting down one thing. I like to flip it and do the other because it's often just an easier way to remember it than try to remember everything. So that is piece number 1. And your second piece, and I'm using Pool Party, but it could be anything. This is a piece of 4 1/8 by 9. This in here, I wanted to be a little bit less than that, and that's almost 4 1/4. So I just went 4 1/8. It's not. And then this is scored at 5 1/2, just like a regular. 5 1/2 would be a regular base of a card, if that makes sense. Okay, so do you have those measurements?
Almond milk?
Tim can't do almonds either, so how bad is that? And then, as you can see, we're just going to tape this inside right there. I'll do this. I don't think I probably need to do all these parts, but I'll do a couple of them here. You know, I'm kind of just about speed and sharing the basics. Besides, if you place an order, you get the PDF and you can take all the time you want, right? Okay, so here is my base card. So look how easy that is. And then when you measure the other pieces of paper to put on it, you always just take what this is and then go down 1/4 inch. So if this is a 2-inch square, which it probably is, then this would be a 1 3/4 inch square. I'm not going to double check that, but it's just an easy way of thinking about your measurements. And I'd rather have you just think about it this way. And then you decorate the top however you want. So here's where I've added the other piece that we've done. So that is card fold number 1. Any questions? Is that good too? Okay, I'm going to set those aside. I'm actually showing you 3 or 4 of the cards that you will get in your kit, and I don't usually do that, but I just kind of got on a roll with these and thought, oh, sure. I'll keep one surprise. Okay. Okay, so here comes the next one. Am I showing them high enough? Oh, I'm just loving all the comments, guys. It's wonderful. So here is the next card, and it comes flat in the mail like this. And this one stands up to be like this. And I'm guessing if I hold it up here that you can see that well. Does that work?
Put it back down once.
And then put it back down. Does that help? But all of these fun fold cards do go flat in the mail. So they are not ones that you have to show in person. But I think this is another really fun idea. And you'll notice none of these are stamped. I'm just using parts of the different thinlits, but I just think they make great things. And of course, you can take this idea and add stamping or anything else. So to make this card, I'll get all my pieces here. And I'm thinking I really don't need to make, I really just need to make the base of the card. So the base of this card is, I'm using Watermelon Wonder, but again, it could be anything. So this is 5.5 by 4 1/4. This is a 1/4 sheet of paper. And then the top one is 4 inches square. So then, of course, to go on top of that, it's 3 3/4 inches square. So I'm going to set that aside. And then the inside, it's just kind of easy to look at like this. So when I first made this, I looked at a card and then made it, and I first just did a full middle sheet like this and then cut off because it just helps me to visualize. But if you just want the basic measurements, they are, okay, so here's the Watermelon Wonder. It was a 4 by 4 piece and a 4 1/4 by 5.5. Okay, and then this is the big one. This is the white. So this is 4 by 9 1/4 and scored at 4. So that's what this is. So we have 4. So really, this is a 4-inch square, the same square that this is going to go on top of. So that's very helpful. And then that's 9 1/4. So when I take this, you can see now if I fold that up, I can see I'm going to crease it right down there. And let's see what I brought. We're going to do good enough is good enough here. I think I'm going to just use something to measure here, because this always works. Usually I would use a ruler because it would be a little more exacting. Okay, but we're crafters. We're good at pinch hitting.
Or she would bring a yardstick.
Yes, yes, or I bring a yardstick. Remember the time I did that, because that's what I could find. Okay, and then you can see I've got that fold, so I'm going to just flip it like this. And you guys, this is why I love having samples to work with. It's one of the beauty of these classes, because if you ever have the actual thing to work with, you can make a whole bunch more, so much more quickly instead of taking one apart. But how cool is that? So then to finish the card, you can see this is going to go on here. This is going to, and of course you're only going to want to do the top half. And then I just put a little paper trim from the same paper, another piece right there. So that's the whole thing. And then to get this to stand up, I think you guys are okay if I don't make all this. Do you see how this is just a little punch circle? Paper out of the same kit, popped up with I can make these shows 2 hours, I think, by doing everything from scratch because I just keep adding, but just popped up with a little dimensional. So that's all that is. So it's enough. It'll stay flat, but it's enough to just hold it when it goes up. So is that a fun idea? Twisty card. Yeah, that's probably what it's called. I don't even know what these things are called. I just like to make them. Or I'll make up a name for them. Okay, so that is the second card. And ready for another? Okay, here. Oh, so by the way, little commercial intro. Here is the new host code. You can always get the host code from my blog. So if you go to my blog first before you place an order, the host code is always there on the right, and then there's a place to click to go right to the store to order. But it's 36QZ, P as in Paul, Y, P as in Paul, 4. If you place a $150 order, you don't want to use this though, because you get the host benefits yourself. So thanks. Okay, our next one. Okie doke. I'm gonna put this one down here. So here's our next card. It's going to come flat in the mail, like that. And then it pops out like this. Very pretty. Need a photo of Tim for the card? Yes, there we go, Jane. That's what I should be doing. I'll send a photo for Tim to everyone. Tim, would you like that?
Where at? Which card?
The card that holds the thing that stands up. Wouldn't you just love that?
Yeah, that'd be
yeah,
really
yeah, Tim would love that. Okay.
I would like it.
Okay, but how cute is this? So another just really easy card that's going to just stand like that. And of course, this one is really easy, but it's just fun. I thought the stacked up cones for this are just perfect. Oh, do you know something? I'm going to back up. I forgot to show here on this one. I don't know if you can see it. On this one, I did sponge the edges. Let's see if we can see this one up close. And I added Wink of Stella. But I just did different things on it, which would also be a really cool thing to do on this card. But you know, I'm just making them all different. So this card, here is the pattern for this one. It's 5.5 by 8.5, so it's your standard card size. And then I scored it at, I'll actually score this one. I scored at 1 3/4. This up here, 1 3/4 and 2 7/8, and then I'm going to flip it and do 1 3/4 and 2 7/8. See, I like just remembering 2 numbers, and I didn't check it out the other way. I probably should, but that is it. Is that just fun? And then you just fold this back. So there is the card. And then, as I said before, everything is just 1/4 inch down. So you just measure which each piece is, and we keep going 1/4 down. So if you want to know what these are, this middle one is these 2 edge ones are 5 1/4 by 1 1/2. Then this one is 5 1/4 by 2 5/8. It could actually be a little narrower, I think. So you can always adjust. And then the white on top of that is 5 inches by 2 3/8. So again, just a really simple card. And you know, you could do a smaller thing down here, add your words, do whatever. But for the sake of this is a perfect way to do it.
For our friends from Canada, could you translate this into centimeters?
We did have ice cream cones. We actually put a picture on our Facebook, this a couple years ago, of we're served ice cream cones that were about this big. So we were at the last day of some ice cream shop. It was closing for the season, and we all had our jackets on. We were traveling. So they were just finishing up all the ice cream and adding scoop after scoop after scoop for just the cost of one, because they said, well, it's going to be thrown. So anyway, it was pretty fun to just take pictures of that. But anyway, so that is a very fun card. I'm going to show you one more, and then Tim's going to share with you what we're going to do this week. This is, I'm not going to show this because I shared this idea last week, but this is another fun, this was that trifold card too, that just comes out like this, and you'll write in there or do your message in there, but just a lovely card with a belly band. So these are 4 of the 5 cards you will get in the mail. They will be all the paper will be cut, and you get PDFs. So it's an awesome thing. And of course you can use these folds for any stamp set, but it's a great one for the cool treats this time. And so Tim and I aren't big gift givers to each other, but we decided we'd do something for Valentine's this year. So I'm going to let him share that. And then I have a few more cards to share.
Okay, so this is the deal. I have for the last probably 23 years been journaling just about every day. And Karen found a book that she says really summarizes who I am. And I'm kind of an idea guy, but not very practical, and I don't put my ideas into action or money. So anyway, Karen found this book for me. Timothy Has Ideas. It's a primer from an old elementary school, actually in Des Moines, Iowa. And Timothy Has Ideas really does fit who I am. So in the name of journaling, Karen and I are going to decorate for each other a journal. And this is a blank journal. There you go. There's lines. And at the end, when Karen gets tired of writing, she can draw pictures. So,
or just put in pictures of Tim, scrapbook. My
scrapbook,
every
yes.
day with Tim.
It can be, that would be really fun. So anyway, are they going to see these finished next time?
Yes, we're going to show them next week.
So next time you come back to our Facebook Live, to Tim and Karen Live, Karen and Tim Live, you will see these finished, and they will be beautiful. And I asked if there's any kind of limitations on how I would stamp them and what they would look like, and she said no. So
I said the only limitation is you can't ask for help. It's just whatever you can come up with on your own. So it'll be really fun to see. I think giving journals is also a great gift idea in general. And we thought since we both like to write, it's just a fun thing. So I'd love to know, have you given journals? And I would love to, maybe next week people could share some pictures of different journals that they have stamped and decorated. That would be a fun thing to do. So 1 week from today, we'll share the results of that.
It'll be fun. It'll be creative. It'll be memorable.
And we'll see if Tim does it before an hour before the show or not. So we'll see. Do you know how that goes?
I'm going to spend the next 3 days thinking about it.
Journaling his thoughts about what it could be.
The 2 days after that, kind of strategizing, and then I will spend at least 2 days decorating it.
Okay.
It will. It really will.
Okay.
It'll be nice.
But with that, a fun, useful, and personal gift. And now I'm back with a few extra cards from Card Swaps to share this with cool treats. This one does have, let's see what Tim says. Oh, Tina says, can't wait to see them finish. I'll see the other. Linda says she does the 1 line a day journal. Ooh, love that idea. So you must just write 1 sentence a day? Ooh, that's a good idea. I've never said that. Leslie said, thanks. That's great. Rosemary's on live. That's wonderful. Anna says she would make these to girlfriends as gifts. Yes, I think it really is a fun personal gift. Cindy says, where did you get those journals that have both lined and blank? Do you know, Tim?
Half price.
I would guess Half Price Books.
Yeah.
That is where we hang out. A date for us is going to Half Price Books and then Starbucks and sitting outside with our tea and coffee for him. So most everything, which doesn't mean they necessarily have them now. But Tim picks up journals whenever he sees them.
And this is actually partially used.
So I'm going to decorate that for him.
Mm-hmm. This is something I've already started, and my journals all end up being personalized, and this is one of my heroes, Johnny Cash. And there's actually a few words written in there. So anyway, this will end up being mine, because I don't think Karen necessarily wants to receive a journal that starts out.
No, Johnny Cash is not one of my, I like him fine, but Karen says she journals 3 things she's grateful for each day. Gratitude journals are really awesome too. I think that is a great idea. And Gail says, what do you have to do to get the cards and PDFs? Just place a $50 order in my online store. So you just go to my website, stampingonthebackporch.com or KarenTitus.com. Either one gets you there, and click on the shop now and buy anything you want for $50. I do my online club that way because I want to not care what you buy. It's just when you make a purchase, then you're going to get 5 cards with PDF in the mail to do that, and it's a different stamp set every month. And with cool treats, I just thought this would be a fun one for fun folds. So that's great. You know, another kind of journal that I made for a while when our kids were young, I loved this idea, was a journal with my kids. I would ask a question, and then they would write in an answer, and then they would write in a question on the next page for me to answer. And it wasn't necessarily like you had to do it every day. It's just kind of when you got around to it, but really cute responses at a point in time. And I think, you know, that's kind of a fun thing. Okay. This is great with these sprinkles and the cones. I mean, why not do a shaker card? I think of the words. This was done by Betty Weisbrook. So there we go. So there's number 1. And I think here's another darling one. Do you see how these are all done in white? And then one is done in colors and popped up. I've done this idea with balloons and with snowmen. And, you know, I don't know that I would have thought of doing it with cones. And I thought, what a great idea. So you just take an idea and do something else. I love this idea. And this is by Jill Hilliard. So are people seeing these good enough? And is this, maybe I should go a little closer. Is this better? I just want to make sure you can see. Is that good?
Both work.
Okay. And then another cute card. This is Barb Mullican. And look at all the different little thinlits you get in this set. Aren't they just cute? And here you see some of the background papers. Just love the simplicity of just doing strips of paper on a card.
And the cherry.
Just got a word come. Yep. And, you know, I'm showing you today the cards that don't have a lot of stamping. Next week, I'm going to show you some more cool treat cards, you know, that do have the stamping. So I put these into 2 piles. But here's another one. Now, this one, I'm just going to point out, so you could do something like that with this, with putting the words and your thing down here. She's got the spoon right in there and the little whipped. I mean, I thought really cute. And that one is also by Barb Mullican. Love this one by Jan Victoria, and this is actually a fun fold too. Look at that. This is the just the fold back card. You fold it in half and then half again. But I love how she's taken her layers. So she did layers like I did on the one, and then she did larger layers underneath behind for the words. Isn't that a cute idea? And then add a little chocolate sprinkles. And see how this picks up from one of those. But I thought these are just some great cards. And one more, and the name fell off of this one, or else it didn't have one. I'm not sure. But here's another one with folded that same way where you fold it in half and back. But again, just a cute card. And don't the stitched framelets, which are available again now, and these other trims just work really well with the set too. Just kind of a fun shape with all that. That's great. Becky says she made a thankful journal years ago, and her daughter takes it to Thanksgiving with her dad and his family every year. Oh my goodness, and then they write in that. Oh, how fun. I love things that go over time like that, and you can see how people do grow and mature and just their interests, so that's great. So I think that's it, and just to quickly show you again, the 4 cards you do get in the kit if you do it. This is one fold, and the next fold was this that will stand up like that. These are kind of thereabouts. And this fun one and this one. And of course, I've left one as a surprise. I wasn't even tempted to show you because I have no idea what it is yet. So card number 5 will be coming. And I thought showing you 4 was good. And then this is the host code. And do we have any other questions?
Well, one thing.
Yes, better late than never, Pam. That's great.
The surprise is that Tim's going to make the 5th one.
Oh, yeah, I'll put him in charge. And I think it will probably have something to do with masking. No, we're not stamping, so we're okay. So I just want to thank all of you for joining us today again. And we look forward to spending this time with you. And you know, you have 24 hours. Someone's going to get probably 3 of these cards in the mail for just leaving a comment between when we started and 24 hours from now. So always draw a name for that. If you have any questions, do let me know. Always leave me a message if you need catalogs, anything else. And a reminder, I do send birthday cards if you message me on the week of your birthday, because I don't want to keep a list, but I'd be glad to send it the week of. That's great. And I think that is the last card for the directions. I showed it last week on that Facebook Live, so if you just scroll through my Facebook feed, you will see it, and the directions are there. And then I'm going to make a PDF, but I don't have it handy or to go back to it. And then, of course, they'll all be on the PDFs too for the class thing. But that's wonderful. Cindy said it's fun to see everyone's interpretation of the set. Oh, it is. And I love doing card swaps. It's one of the best parts about being a demonstrator. And don't forget that awesome demonstrator kit special is absolutely amazing. Brenda says, awesome cards. What's your favorite color? Mine changes weekly. But what I like to tell new people, or whenever you're buying something new, like if you're getting this paper set, which I love, and the stamp set, make sure you have at least 2 of the colors used in the paper. Sometimes it's fun to have all. And I love now that they even have the thing, you know, when you order, you can order the paper pack to go with it. So I was going to look up this set and see which comes in that, which is so smart to do. Okay, these 3 colors come with it. But I also, you know, it's got the pool party and the peach. But I would rather have a variety of things that go together to work with and build off than, you know, a bunch of assorted things. So instead of worrying about having every single color, but, you know, of course, I have every single color. But it was so funny. Someone came over to help me cut cardstock last night for our next class. And I was out of Whisper White. How can I be out of Whisper White? So even I was out of a bunch of things we wanted. So I had to quick put an order in. But I thought, so see, I've been going through a lot of paper. But I love it.
It's because she uses Whisper White for everything.
Paula says, was the bugs and dragonflies the Rachel Ray show? I have no idea what that's referring to. It's not. Can you show your number again? Yes, this is the number. Oh, and of course, then you also get invited into our Facebook group for my customers and downline. We do drawings and things in there every week. This week we are sharing organizational ideas, so I better get some photos taken. I said that's not my strength, but I do have fun things I do. So wonderful. Thank you all very much. We appreciate you, and we will see you next week, same time.
With our journals.
With our finished journals. Or else a good excuse.
No, they'll be finished.
And next week's topic will then also be more of cool treats, but it will be with the actual stamped images. And so not fun photos, we'll just be doing some other, because there's some cool things we can do with that too. Some techniques and cards. So thank you. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you all.
And welcome to February.
Yes. And welcome to February. So new month, new thing. And I really do love this fun treats bundle. So
and go Atlanta.
Enjoy. And I will respond to all of your comments, so feel free to ask me questions or anything. Thanks. Appreciate you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.